Happy October 1st. Halloween. I just saw the new Saw, Saw 10, and if you like the Saw movie, you should see it. It's a good movie. But the ending, it was like a Hitchcock movie, if you know what I'm talking about. It leaves questions, so this might be another one. But that got me in the mood to read my own horror story, and I'm on my second book. It's called The Protectors of Earth and a Walking Nightmare, and I'm on chapter 7. So here we go. Jacob and Brittany are putting their weapons away after an hour of training. Both of them feel fatigued because of Matthew's grueling exercises. Now they see why the field agents are so good in battle. You two did better than I expected today. Matthew congratulates his two new students. Thank you. There are a lot of weapons that I didn't think about using. I'm going to start bringing guns with silencers. It will be a lot easier to shoot zombies and minions with. Jacob chooses two Glock 9mm out of shelves of handguns. And I'm going to start bringing more knives with me, Brittany adds. This crossbow seems to run out of arrows quickly, and when they are surrounding us, I don't have enough time to take the arrow out of their heads. These weapons that you have chosen are great tools to have, but only a sword can kill a master. Matthew takes a sword out of his weapons hold and takes a couple quick practice swings. And only in hell can you kill a master demon for good, Jacob adds, remembering taking Balthazar's head and only killing the human that he has possessed. That is true, but you two aren't ready to actually go one-on-one with the master demon, not in his own private domain anyways. Rebecca enters the training room, and by the look in her eyes that they have another lead on Victor and Balthazar. Gabriel would like to have all three of all three of you, in his office for a debriefing about another mission. Is this about Balthazar and Victor? Jacob asks. Now that they all have their desired weapons, they could use a little training in the field. I will let Gabriel tell you everything, and he would also like to have you there as soon as possible. Rebecca exits the room as fast as she entered. Well, I guess that we should go. So all three of them follow Rebecca to Gabriel's huge office that is on the top floor of the administrative wing of the university. Gabriel is already inside talking on the telephone that he is holding up to his left ear with his shoulder and typing upon the keyboard at the same time. He takes a second break from the computer to wave all four of them inside. So all four of them enter in a single file line and take an unoccupied seat. I'm happy to see all of you here and ready to work. Gabriel hangs up the telephone so he can straight to the problem at hand with his interpretations without interruptions. So, what is so important that we all have to be in here right now? My advanced courses are actually very interesting, Rebecca speaks first. First off, I am happy that you are liking your classes, Rebecca, but I was just informed that two families were just murdered outside of Sykesville, and how I hear it, their bodies are mutilated. Gabriel hands Rebecca and Matthew both a piece of paper with their mission guidelines. Victor and Balthazar, Rebecca immediately comments over what she is reading. Just in case, Rebecca, I want you and Matthew to do a scan and see how many souls that were taken from a supernatural being. If Victor and Balthazar are involved, I fear that there is something more going on here. We would do what we can. Come on, Matthew. We have to get the soul scanner. Rebecca and Matthew stand up and exit the office. Oh. Jacob, Brittany, do you two think that you could stay a couple extra minutes? Jacob and Brittany both sit back down. I heard from Rebecca that you two want to know more about your parents. We have millions of questions, but one is the most important of all. Now, how did our parents die? What were the mission guidelines? Jacob asks. Brittany agrees with Jacob's questions. Well, Jacob, that is two questions, and both of them are more difficult to answer than you can expect. So I will put it as lightly as I can. Supernatural beings killed both of your parents, but I don't know which beings exactly. Now, to your second question, is that they made their own mission guidelines and brought their own team with them without my authorization. Suffices to say that I wasn't well informed neither. Gabriel explains. Jacob and Brittany use a little. Jacob and Brittany are a little disappointed into how much Gabriel doesn't know. I guess that you can tell us more about it later, but for now, we have to meet up with Rebecca and Matthew. Jacob exits the office first. They are probably waiting for us. Brittany looks more disappointed than Jacob, but she exits the office anyway. Knowing that she will find out more later, she has a feeling that Gabriel knows more than he is letting on. And Jacob nor Brittany will rest until they figure out everything there is to know about Jacob's father and Brittany's mother. They exit the building and see that Rebecca and Matthew are just outside waiting for them. Did you have a talk with Gabriel? Rebecca asks, as they all walk down a couple concrete steps. Yes, but we didn't get much from him. We didn't have a lot of time either. This mission is a much higher problem than our dead parents. Jacob looks and sounds very disappointed. Did he actually tell you that? Matthew cannot believe that he did not tell them anything. Some of the missions they took were outrageous and should not be told to many people, but Jacob and Brittany are legacies, and they have the right to know about their birth parents. Not exactly, but by how he was rushing things along, I felt like there was a lot of things he wasn't telling us. Brittany answers, following Rebecca to the car that she is driving. They all pile into the car and head towards the doctor's house, where they will be more valuable in the mission. Rebecca parks the car across the street from the house, and by how the outside looks, the police have not shown up yet, and this worries her. Now, this is how I would love every place to look when I investigate. No police to worry about. Matthew exits the passenger seat. That is what is worrying me. It's too quiet. They all enter the house and immediately see the three mutilated bodies that are lying on the kitchen floor. Hey, Becky, do you want me to bring out the soul tracker? Matthew asks. Yes, I do, because if my instincts aren't lying to me, we are going to need it. Rebecca answers, so Matthew exits the kitchen. Another bloodbath. Brittany states the obvious. Rebecca, however, looks over towards the doctor, kneels down next to his body, and examines it closely. Then does the same thing with his wife. And 2 pages here. And daughter's bodies. She then stands up and ponders over what she has just discovered. What is it, Rebecca? From here it looks like there is a light bulb forming above her head. Forming above your head. Matthew jokes. He is holding the soul searcher in his left hand. It is handheld, black, with a small monitor on the top, with dozens of small buttons underneath the screen. The doctor's wife's soul was taken by Balthazar, but I have no idea who has taken the doctor's soul, Rebecca answers. We do know that Victor's dead wife is killing the people responsible for her death. Maybe she has taken their souls as well. Matthew turns on the machine, which it takes a couple of minutes to boot. That would be my guess as well. But normally, a walking nightmare can't steal their victim's souls. The soul tracker starts beeping, and then it begins to drag Matthew slowly out of the kitchen door. If I were you three, I would follow me. I believe I'm being led to the doctor's wife's soul. Matthew, sorry people, Matthew completely exits the house through the back door, knowing full well where he is being led towards. Uh, Jacob, Brittany, I would advise you both to take out your weapons and follow me. Rebecca quickly takes out her sword. She knows that there is going to be a fight, and she wants her team and herself to be ready for anything that they encounter. So they all enter a neighbor's house and see that there are 4 dead bodies, all in the living room, all sitting down somewhere. And Victor is sitting in the middle of all of them, staring at the field agents with a smile of horrific insanity. Where's Balthazar? Rebecca demands. Getting a little dark in here. Now I know that you want revenge from Balthazar, Rebecca, but I believe that your focus should be upon me, because I am the person who raised him out of hell. Victor begins. I figured that much because you are a desperate, weak, hollow person, but it didn't figure on you to being stupid as well. Rebecca cuts Victor off. The thing she hates more than any demon's boasting is a human that dwells under a demon's hide for protection and power even more. Rebecca, you don't have any clue of what really is going on here. You always seem to know so much about what is going on in the agency, but on this particular mission, you don't know anything. I guess that Gabriel didn't believe that you could handle the truth. What are you talking about? We all know the real reason for you joining with Balthazar is because you're afraid of the protectors of Earth, and your only chance of getting your son back is to get help from a member of Hell. Jacob speaks his 2 cents. Very clever, Jacob Whitmore. Very clever. Your father would be proud to know that you are now free willingly joined the protectors of Earth. It was his dying wish that you didn't follow in his footsteps. Jacob is amazed by how much this lunatic knows about his father. Don't lie to the boy. We all know that you're getting all of your information from Balthazar, and you above all people should know that demons lie and none of them can be trusted. Rebecca interrupts again. She does not want Victor filling Jacob and Brittany's heads with such believable lies. Not all of us. There are many things that Gabriel keeps to himself for the benefit of the greater good, especially about Mr. Whitmore's team's last mission. Let me ask you one thing. Why do you think that he doesn't want to tell anybody about their last mission? Enough talk. Matthew, being the most experienced agent with a sword, jumps towards Victor and aims his swing at Victor's neck. But he catches the blade with his left hand, inches away from his neck. They both gaze into each other's eyes as blood from Victor's left hand drips upon the floor. All Matthew can see while he is in a gaze is pride and torment. Victor is human, but his soul is so badly damaged from what he has gone through that there is no turning back for him. But Matthew also sees a glimpse of somebody he used to know, somebody they used to trust. Matthew forcefully takes back his sword from inside Victor's head. Then he glares into Victor's eyes, not being able to believe that at one time Victor was a good guy and one of his trusted fellow field agents. As you wish, Matthew, but let me say this. If you kill me, a lot of secrets about Alan's last mission will die with me. About 24 zombies enter the living room and stand behind Victor, waiting for him to tell them that they can feast on living human tissue. What does he mean by that? What isn't Gabriel telling us? Brittany has to get in this conversation now. Getting to know why her mother did what she did is now at stake. They all look at Victor, waiting for his next action. But all he can do is stare at Matthew, who is now standing silently with his head down, staring into the floor. Victor sees that if he is going to strike, now would be the perfect time, knowing that his enemy's attention is not entirely on him. Attack! 2 dozen zombies lurk towards the team of field agents. Matthew, snap out of it. We are being attacked. Rebecca walks over towards her friend and places both of her hands onto Matthew's shoulders. Brittany begins to fire her crossbow, and Jacob begins slicing necks all around Matthew and Rebecca so they can protect their team members. Rebecca, we need your help, Brittany yells, still firing arrows as the wave of zombies are beginning to become overwhelming. Victor's laugh echoes throughout the house, knowing that he has the team of field agents pinned down. Rebecca slaps Matthew across his left cheek, so hard that it leaves an imprint, but it wakes him up, so they both grab their swords and begin to work. A smile forms on her face, knowing that her and Matthew can get through this wave of hungry zombies with no problems, even if they were by themselves. A teacher with swordsmanship skills and his most talented student back to back. The wave of zombies diminishes in a timely manner. We may have known each other at one time, Victor, but it humiliates me how far off the path you've gone, Matthew says in confidence once all of Victor's zombies are all lying upon the floor without heads. He may have known each other at one time, but you didn't have to see what I had to see on that night. If you did, your soul would have been tarnished just like mine is. And then you would have realized that the protectors of Earth are just as evil as the bees they make their agents hunt. So you're saying that Gabriel and the rest of the headmasters are corrupted? Rebecca now wants to know more. Before this mission started, they did not have any idea that Victor was an agent for the protectors of Earth at one time in his life. When was Gabriel going to tell her about this detail, or Matthew for that matter? I don't really have time to answer all of your stupid questions. It doesn't really matter now anyways. I serve a new master. Victor is looking at somebody that is standing behind the agents, so they have all turned around and see that Balthazar is looking right at them with an unpleasant grin. Remember me? Balthazar has more zombies and Class B demons with him, but this time the whole team of field agents are all ready to defend themselves. How do you have so many minions? Am I missing something? On the last time that we met, we killed your vessel and sent you back to hell, powerless. Rebecca sounded surprised, but yet eager. I have my ways. Did you get the note that I left you before Jacob took my power here in the mortal realm? Balthazar looks at Jacob for a quick second and makes sure that Jacob sees him licking his lips. Then he looks back at Rebecca. Yes, I did, and the only thing that you accomplished by doing that is make me want to take your head even more. Rebecca raises her sword, ready to attack, not caring one bit that she is still a little bit out of breath from Victor's army. Swarm of zombies. All the field agents are, so attack they do, despite their lack of oxygen. Balthazar waves on half of his minions in front of him, just so that they can have a chance at eating the field agents' flesh. But the field agents defend themselves with their lives. The zombies and class demons that are in their way of attacking Balthazar diminishes quickly. But before they can kill the whole wave, Victor grabs Brittany from behind and presses his machete against her neck, just enough to make a small cut that begins to drip blood right in front of her feet. She quivers in pain, and as the blade cuts through her flesh. It is not much of a cut, but even a paper cut in the wrong place stings. I want my son back, so somebody's going to tell me how I can get inside the University of Protectors of Earth, or else I am going to slowly cut off Brittany's head. Victor is not playing games anymore. The Protectors of Earth do not have custody of your son. That I can guarantee. We don't know where he is, neither. Just let her go, and we can work something else out. Matthew tries to come to a deal with Victor's humanity, the little bit that he has left. I know exactly who has my son. If I want to get him back, I'm going to have a conversation with Gabriel. That can be arranged. Just let her go, free, and I will take you to him personally. Victor begins to let Brittany go of his tight grip, but Balthazar, with so much speed that he should not possess, grabs Brittany. The second Victor releases her and places his sword on the wound from Victor's machete. Brittany now, not believing that she is ever going to escape, begins to silently cry as tears drip down both of her cheeks. I'm not going to be in prison. They might give you amnesty, Victor, because you are still human. But me, being a master demon, and I surrender, I will be beheaded on the spot. He turns a little towards Victor and still does not keep his eyes off of one of his adversaries. You heard Lucifer. If I go back with nothing to show for it, he will make sure that I never return to this realm. And I'd like it here. He turns back around and looks into Rebecca's eyes. So I have an offer for you. Since you are such in a mood to negotiate, I have a counter offer. You will allow both of us undetected into your beloved university and time to roam around, and then allow us to take what we wish. I will then let her go, and you will go alive and with your souls intact. Balthazar makes an offer that only a fool would agree to. So now, has his own freedom to worry about. He has his own freedom to worry about. Now you know I can't allow that. Victor, on the other hand, can always be forgiven. Rebecca does not even consider Balthazar's offering. I can't because I am the person that summoned him. On that note, Balthazar lets go Brittany and quickly exits through the back door of the house. A dozen or so zombies and Class C demons that are left behind begin lurking towards the field agents. Victor then exits the same way as Balthazar. The field agents turn around and concentrate on the task at hand, killing all of these minions and getting out of there alive. But once they begin their battle, they realize that these minions are more difficult to kill than they normally are. How do they get this boost of energy? Jacob asks, having a difficult time killing the two zombies that are attacking him. But Brittany fires off two arrows directly between the two zombies' eyes, saving Jacob's life. That will be one of the many questions that I will ask Gabriel once we get back to this school. But for now, let's focus on killing Balthazar's minions and that only. Rebecca gives words of encouragement to Jacob and the rest of the team. They begin to work together, and some of the minions get taken out. But they begin to surround them without any hesitation to kill. Some of them even sacrifice themselves in order for their fellow zombie to get a closer bite. Now they're sacrificing themselves? Matthew takes another head before it bites him in his thigh. He is beginning to think that they are not going to get out of here, out of the situation, as they are all fearing. Somebody enters the house from behind the minions. He quickly uses his sword and begins to ruthlessly take their heads. He does a spin in midair, surprises everybody, and takes out the remaining four zombies that are in front of Jacob and Brittany with one swing of his sword. None of them have ever seen anybody move like that. So they are all curious to see who this person is. He turns around and looks at everybody with a grin, showing that he is happy to see all four of them. Nick? Oh my God. You are alive? Rebecca runs towards her brother and gives him a big sisterly hug. She is more happier to see him than he is to see her. That's the 7th chapter. Do another chapter in maybe a couple weeks or so. I don't know. It's October, everybody. Like, she had her comment. Said she would like horror stories.